on this computer. Recording in progress. It's always a good start.
Recording in progress.
Hello, everybody. My name is Ian Taylor, and you are listening to the Marvel Card Collectors Podcast. With me this week, no sign of Norrin, unfortunately. He's trapped down a well. But we have a good friend of the podcast, an artist extraordinaire, and I'm going to try and say your name without muffing it.
Screw it up. Screw it up.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'll start again. We have joining us this week is Thanos. No, Jay. I say that because I've got this little Lego Thanos.
Oh, awesome!
I love yesterday.
Thanos.
Yeah, it's on a magazine. Like there's a monthly magazine. Anyway, Jay Peteranetz.
We'll go with it. It's
Peteranetz.
Peteranetz. On its, yeah.
Okay.
So it's okay. Everybody gets it wrong, and you did much better than most. So
he's in the house. Well, you know what? I just listened to the intro that you did us 2 years and change ago, and because you say it so quickly, it's difficult to hit that kind of emphasis change in the middle.
Understandable. Yeah.
You took a run through it. You thought, I'm going to get through it as quickly as possible. How the devil are you?
Say it again.
How the devil are you, sir?
Oh, how the devil? Oh, man. Tired and busy and tired and busy.
Okay.
Yeah, over and over. It's week 9 of the quarter where I teach here in Savannah, Georgia.
Ooh, okay.
And they're only 10 weeks. So it's time for grading, and it's time for finals, and it's time for finishing up and getting all the end of the quarter stuff done. So just busy.
Crunch time.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. Crunch time.
Yeah.
So works out though. I'm used to it. I got my coffee in my mug that I designed. See my little mug?
Yeah. Now I was looking on it. We'll talk about this. I was looking on your Facebook feed about the various things that you design. So I'm massively intrigued by that. So I'm always intrigued by the number of things that artists, by the number of strings artists have to their bow. So we know that you teach.
Yes.
So tell me about how you got. So you've been on. What was your first Marvel set? Was it Infinity War?
My first Marvel set was Premiere 2017.
Oh, okay, cool. All right. So how did we'll reverse to kind of how you got started doing artwork because obviously I've seen your bio on the thing and I can just read that out. But sketch cards, how did that come about? Had you done them before?
So, see, I've been a Marvel comic fan since I was 7. I picked up Jim Lee and Chris Claremont's X-Men #1, and that was the love affair for me. I wanted to do comics and superheroes since then. So that was my goal, and that's where I wanted to go, and that's what I wanted to do. So my friends and I did a ton of X-Kids is what we called it, which was just prose stories about the X-Men as kids.
Yeah,
which didn't quite work out because the whole like teenage puberty thing, but we made it work. It was fun.
Sounds like Muppet Babies.
A little bit like Muppet Babies.
Yep.
Yeah, that was my I grew up in Muppet Babies, so Saturday mornings were Muppet Babies mornings, so we watched a lot of that. But we did that, and then I went to school at SCAD where I'm teaching now for comics and sequential art. Taught, or I guess shouldn't say taught, did some independent books, went back and got my master's degree. And then while I was getting my master's degree, I had an opportunity to reconnect with some of the people that got their master's degree while I was getting my undergrad. 2 of them being Elvin Hernandez and Brian the Kaiser Tillman,
right,
who we know from the absolutely amazing work that they've done on a myriad of cards. So I got to reconnect with them around that time. Got working at the Art Institute of Colorado after I moved back to Denver after getting my master's degree. And they were doing sketch cards. So the first time I went to San Diego Comic-Con in 2014 or 15, somewhere in there, they both had a table and we just got to hang out and talk and chat. And they had all of their cards from DC and Marvel and all of their different properties. And I was like, so how did you guys get to do this stuff? And they said, well, we did it this way. And I said, you have a contact? And they said, sure. So I got a contact, reached out, heard nothing, because that's the way it goes.
Mm-hmm.
And then in 2016, the very next year, Upper Deck was actually doing portfolio reviews at San Diego Comic-Con.
Right.
So I got to do a portfolio review, dropped Elvin and Tillman's name, and about 6 months later, they contacted me to do Premiere 2017. So
Nice.
yeah, it was great. I got to do that. I still have one of my APs left over from 2017.
Oh, is that
Still,
She-Hulk?
it's
Nice.
She-Hulk. So that's still here, waiting for a good and lovely home. That's my plug. There you go. See,
No,
stuff.
you can plug away as much as you want. I'm trying to remember if we have a She-Hulk collector in our midst. I'm very surprised no one actually seems to go for her as a character.
There
Um,
is one person. I don't remember who it is, but there's one person who is a She-Hulk collector. Um, and I've reached out to them about it, and they just haven't done anything about it yet. But they've shown like, ooh, that's neat. Maybe it someday. So
yeah,
you
that's
know,
all right. I mean, I don't buy every Black Cat sketch I see.
right.
I'm quite a
So
picky bugger. 10 years ago,
as you should be,
yeah,
as you
10
should
years
be.
ago, I was
If you
buying every
aren't,
Black Cat under the sun, but now,
yeah,
now I'm a little bit more choosy.
yeah. Well,
Um,
you're not going to have any money if you buy them all.
I don't have any money now. What are you on about?
No, see, exactly,
Yeah, thank you,
exactly.
economy. Um, so in Premiere, so with Premiere, it's not just the single panels though, is it? You must have had
No,
quite a you've got the single panel stuff, which I'm sure is what you were expecting, but then you've
hmm
got double, triple, quad. Did you get any quads?
I didn't get any quads. That entire run was all trips. I got
Okay,
triples for that entire run.
okay. Did it
So
have the large ones, the kind of 5 by 7
I didn't get to
squares?
do any 5x7s.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
all right.
you can hear my kids in the background here. Hang on one second. Sorry, Ian.
That's all right.
Quick. Sorry, Ian. 6 kids.
No, that's quite all right. I don't know how you find the time, honestly.
Oh my
Um,
God. I
uh,
don't know
all,
either.
all the money. Do you send them? You send them out to work?
Um, they
Cleaning
they
chimneys and things.
no, unfortunately.
Oh,
But hence the reason I do all these different art things.
yeah. Um, so something you said, I didn't realize this existed, or maybe that's just me, and why would I? Because I've never looked into it. But did you say you studied and there was a course available in comics and sequential art?
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
actually a thing.
The Savannah College of Art and Design down
Okay.
in Savannah, Georgia in 94, 95, somewhere right around there. Um, separated their illustration degree and their sequential art degree.
Wow.
So there's illustration, which is all the single panel illustration work, and then sequential art is comics and storyboards and character design and concept art and that type of stuff.
Gotcha.
So when I heard about the comic book degree, I was like, yes, please. So the two choices when I went to college were Minnesota or Savannah, Georgia. And I don't know, what you know about Minnesota, but it's cold in the
Yeah.
winter,
Yeah.
like very, very cold in the winter.
Mm,
So I decided that Savannah, Georgia was the right place for me. So I came down to Savannah to get a degree in comics.
gotcha.
So,
And Georgia's quite a considerable amount warmer, I understand.
oh, yes.
Isn't that where The
Yeah,
Walking Dead
we're right
films?
above. Yep. Yep. Walking Dead, all the Marvel stuff is down here as well.
Okay.
So we have people. Atlanta is about 4 hours from us. So it's the other direction. But all the Walking Dead is filmed just southwest of Georgia, or I'm sorry, southwest of Atlanta, but they do have some of it shoot down here in the Savannah area.
Oh,
A lot of Marvel is shot down here. Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I think, was shot down on the coast over here somewhere.
gotcha.
So, yeah, a lot of Marvel is shot down here in Georgia.
Well, okay. So can we expect you in the background on any of those shows? No. Okay. All right.
No, no. Unfortunately, the time to go do those things doesn't exist in my world.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and yet you make time for a podcast. So bless you, sir. Bless you.
I
Thank
do.
you.
It's a great podcast and it's fun to listen to. And
Thank you.
I want to be, a part of this because you guys are just rocking it and have been so good to me and my work and being part of the MCCW. And so,
Thank
I
you,
gotta
sir.
come
Bless
on
you.
and say hi.
No, I know we've been trying to hook this up for a little while, so apologies. It's taken so many times. We've had a few what's the plural of hiatus? Is it hiatuses or
Sure.
hiatuses? Those.
Hiatus high.
Yeah, we've had
Let's just
multiple bye weeks, as I believe they say
yeah.
in the NFL. Um, did you know you won't know this, but you're following up. You're hot on the heels of Joe Jusko.
Oh, really?
As people hear this, Joe Jusko was last week's episode.
All
But you
right.
don't know this because it hasn't dropped yet. But yeah, episode 150, Joe Jusko.
I
So,
feel honored to follow him.
well, he's your warm-up act.
He's
So,
well,
no pressure
no,
on
no,
this.
I'm his cool down. I'm his cool down. Like
Oh, okay.
you go to the concert and you have the warm up or the opening band, and then you have the main band, and then you have the whoever's sticking around for the rest of it. I feel like that's me.
Okay. All right. You're the play out. You're the
So
play out music. Okay. Good. Good. Good.
that's right. That's right.
Um,
As everybody goes home, I'm up there with my guitar on stage, single stool, single microphone,
yeah.
just strumming away.
Yeah. Loads of empty beer bottles around you where
Yeah.
people have just lobbed them at you on the stage and missed. Um,
Yep.
so,
Yep.
so Marvel Premiere 2017. A lot of people seem to have come on board for that, and maybe it's because Upper Deck did that, as you said, did that round of kind of new talent ingest in 2016. That's possibly why. So you've been on quite a run of sets after that. Then I'm guessing, and we'll get on to the one you've just started showing off on your social media
Mhm.
soon. But so Marvel 80th, did I hear in your intro that you did for us, which people will hear at the top of this episode? What
Um,
else?
let's see. Let me get my little list out here because I've got them all. So I've done, let's see, Infinity War. I did.
Hello.
That was
Whoever.
one of the daughters.
Okay.
They're trying to play Nintendo Switch, and that's getting a little heated apparently.
Okay.
So let's see. Yeah, so I've done Marvel 80th. I did Infinity War. I did Premiere 2017. Agents of Shield. Let's see, what are the flares that are here? So the Flare 2019s,
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, Fleer Ultra Avengers, which is announced but coming out at some point in the future. Allure. I did Masterpieces 2022, Premiere 2021, Annual 2022. I've got
the set of the future Marvel Premiere 21.
yes.
Oh, nice. Okay.
This is coming soon. That's coming soon. And then I've got two more sets that are unannounced that are supposed to be coming my way, a few weeks ago, but we'll see when those come.
All right. So plenty of sketches in the bag for sets that haven't come out yet. So we'll keep our eyes out.
Probably with Spider-Verse, I would guess I've probably got about 400 plus sketches on their way.
Oh, good grief.
Yeah.
Good grief.
So yeah, there's a lot coming.
And that's okay. So let's talk about, since we touched on it, Spider-Verse, because you've just started pushing this out there. You've got 122 sketches coming down the pipe for Spider-Verse. Now, is that approved ones, I'm guessing? Yeah.
I think it's 116 that are actually approved.
Oh, okay.
Out of 122, and it should be 120 out of 122, but as of this moment, I'm not a big fan of the licensor on that set. Because, well, we have all these banned characters that we just can't draw.
Yeah.
Which some of them I'm very sad about because they're some of my favorites, like Silver Surfer. If I could do Silver Surfer, I would do Silver Surfer all of the time. Every single set, every single time would be Silver Surfer. But you can't do Silver Surfer, the Fantastic Four, or Doom, or Galactus, or Terrax, or like these really good characters that I grew up on and that I love. And these were the people that I read. And that's part of the reason I wanted to do these sets, is because I wanted to do those characters. But we have all these banned characters. So I did one set of Spider-Verse, and then they sent me another set of Spider-Verse. And the second round of Spider-Verse, I turned them in, and I got an email from one of the art directors at Upper Deck like the next day, and that said, stop working on your Spider-Verse cards. We have new art direction coming. was like, but I just sent them in. And his response was, "You're fine. You did them right." Because the initial Spider-Verse um, run was only supposed to be 19 approved characters from the movie.
Right.
So we had a list of 19 characters we could draw. So I did those 19 characters, and his response back to me was, "You're fine. Other people screwed it up, so we have new art direction coming." So I'm guessing there were enough other artists who didn't read the instructions that they had to
Right.
redo the art direction, so they had enough sketches.
Okie dokie.
So, like, and that's purely a guess. That's pure speculation. But
Mm-hmm.
I've been around art directors and working with art directors enough to make that fairly confident assumption.
Mm-hmm.
So after that, they said we need more sketches, so they sent me another round, and then that next round, it was kind of a free for all, kind of standard what you would get and see in most Marvel sketches.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, cool. And I know we have a spot collector in our midst.
Yes.
Who,
well, I thought that you might have invoked his presence by saying,
I was
about Surfer so many times. You say
trying
Surfer.
to just
it's like Beetlejuice.
conjure up.
You say it enough times, then he appears.
Right.
But
right.
Unfortunately, it doesn't seem to be the case today.
Yeah.
I'm just checking my messages just in case there's signs. No signs. Just the two of us.
I am conjuring the Silver Surfer and the Spot Lover and seeing if we can just mold him out of thin air. And it's not.
Where there's quite a lot of thin air because he's 6'4".
Yeah.
Anyway, so Spot.
so I was like, I should do some Spot because I know we have a Spot collector in our midst. So I did 4 spots. From the time that I got the art direction, I turned in the cards and they got approved. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse trailer came out, which of course, well, I guess the trailer didn't show the Spot, but the promo art showed the Spot. Since the promo art showed the Spot, and since it's a different design than what we get in the comics, he became a banned character. So the 4 spots that I have in this set will not see the light of day.
Well, that sucks. Yeah.
And the worst part about that, and I fought back and I said, but when I turned in the cards by the due date, he was not a banned character.
Yeah.
So Matt Dunford and Eileen, I'm trying to remember Eileen's last name, but the 2 art directors that I spend most of my time working with at Upper Deck asked and fought and asked, and I got multiple emails from them. And I sent multiple emails back to try to get those approved, or at the very least, get me paid. And that did not go through. The licensor was being mean. So, unfortunately, these 4 amazing, beautiful Spot cards that I have will not see the light of day, unfortunately.
The 4 spots. Sounds like
a
Motown group. So it just came to me. It's such a shame that the license, or is that the right phrase? Licensee?
I think so.
Upper Deck are the licensee, aren't they? Marvel
yes.
The licensor. It's such a shame that they're so black and white with that. And I've had experience with it on properties that we've worked on, Marvel Universe Live being the main one. There's no shades of grey whatsoever. And it's interesting. One thing I will say is the episode that we just dropped, 149, where we did some hobby questions, we had at least one question from, I think it was from an artist, actually. I can't remember who it was from. Maybe Tony Perner, who asked about rejections and the handling of that. So I'm not necessarily asking you to go into it, because I'm very aware that some artists might not want to use the expression "shit where they eat." But I know some people are very, very chafed, would be a polite way of putting it, about their experiences. So we will, I'm just saying this now to say to people that we will do an episode that focuses on that, because we've got a number of people who want to come on and talk about their experiences.
Well, I'll be honest. Some of the rejections I totally understand. And some of the rejections I have honestly, after my Marvel Avengers Endgame, which was a set that was rejected in its entirety. All
Oh,
50
yes, I
cards
remember
gone.
that. Yeah.
So all 50 cards were rejected,
Hmm.
which was angry and frustrating at the time, but I didn't have access to a scanner, so I had to take a picture of them. So, that was probably why they were rejected, which sucks, but I can't really blame Marvel for that.
Yeah.
So that is what it is. But some of the rejections after that one in particular, I started to kind of see how far I could push to see what would and wouldn't get rejected. And there are some where I was like, well, that's going to get rejected. And it didn't. And there were some where it's like, that's not going to get rejected. And it did. And then there were a couple that kind of surprised me. But then I go back and look at them and go, oh, no, I could see that. I could absolutely see why that was rejected or why that was rejected or whatever. So, and, if we can, here's an edit out section.
Yeah.
Okay. Edit out section. Do you want to see some of me pushing the envelope and seeing what I could and couldn't get in?
Yeah, show them. I'll drop this bit out. Let me just make a note of the timestamp. Where are we?
Yeah.
39 minutes.
Just because, and for those of you listening, I would love to show these to you, and they will come. I promise you, they will come as soon as the set is released and I can put them online. They will be there for you. But for right now, I'm sorry, but for the listeners and the viewers, I am teasing some things that we will get Ian to see here.
And we'll be back after these messages, folks.
Yes, right? All right. Yep.
And we're back. Welcome back to part 2 of the Marvel Card Collectors Podcast, episode 151 with J. Peteranetz.
Yay.
At that time. Yeah, better?
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Better.
So, talk to me about security of social media accounts.
Oh, geez. God, two-factor authenticate people.
Yeah.
Two-factor authenticate. Make sure you two-factor authenticate. So let's see. That was almost 2 months ago now. I opened up my Instagram one day and I saw a post on my Instagram about Bitcoin collecting. And I was like, I didn't do that. And I had a whole bunch of people asking me, if this post is real, what's going on. And then I got a whole bunch of Instagram messages from a whole bunch of people. Hey, are you contacting me on Instagram? I was like, no. And then I got locked out of my account. So I'm not exactly sure how or what happened or, exactly how I got hacked, but I was not two-factor authenticated. And so I had to restart. And Meta and Instagram are not helpful.
No,
they are not helpful.
No.
But yeah, so that the account, unfortunately, I gave up on, but the amount of annoyance and frustration that went into that was just insane. And it was weeks later that I finally stopped getting messages from people. Hey, are you contacting me on Instagram? Hey, did you send me this message on Instagram? Hey, what's going on with your Instagram? So, I think there's two things I would say with that. Number one, make sure you have some pictures of yourself on your Instagram, because you apparently, and I say apparently because it didn't work for me, but I don't use Instagram for personal stuff. I don't use a lot of my social media for personal stuff. It's all, here's my art, here's the business thing, and that's what I try to use it for.
Yeah.
Have a picture of you in a variety of angles on there. This is my variety of angles. Look.
Yeah.
Because they ask you to take a video from, the front, the side, and try to essentially do facial recognition on your account, and that might get it back for you. That didn't work. I contacted Meta directly through their contact us stuff. Didn't get anything back. Sent them a whole bunch of screenshots of all of the messages that I was getting, and the ransom somebody sent me a ransom note for my account. The guy who hacked my account sent me a ransom note via Google Messages. Hey, I'm the guy that hacked your account. For $300, you can have it back. I was like, no, you can keep it. But I sent that to Meta. And then I sent he sent me, was it Facebook? He might have sent it to me through Facebook too. But he sent me like 2 or 3 notes trying to get money to get my account back. And I kept telling him no, but I sent all of those things to Meta. I said, look, this is not my email. Look at where it's coming from. Look at the name on the account and look at my email. Look at the last name. See if there's anybody else with that last name on Instagram. P.S. There isn't. And see, do something with it. Take it down, block it, get rid of it. Out. I don't care. You can get rid of the account completely and not let it be accessed ever again. Lock the username down. I don't give a crap. But do something. Nothing. Zero. Zilch.
That doesn't surprise me. That
are you
doesn't surprise me.
kidding?
I mean, we spend a decent amount with them on behalf of our clients. I work for a marketing agency, and even with the spend that we have, you kind of barely get a response. Yeah, if you're someone who spends money with them, like big amount of money, they can't do anything for you quick enough. But,
yeah,
they're throwing a free back rub and a hot towel. But
yeah,
for us little people, it's game
I
over.
know. I'm like, just lock it down, close it down. They're annoying people, and I've had probably 2 people tell me that because of whatever messages they're getting from this guy, that they've lost their account as well.
Yeah, there'll be a link click, so it'll be a bit of malware that gets in.
I'm like, son of a.
So this is your Instagram. You've lost. So what's your new Instagram? Pimp your new one.
It's J Peteranetz art.
Good.
So
all right.
Let me see if I can put it up.
You can screen share now. You can show it to people. So for those watching this on YouTube, because yes, episodes are now on YouTube as well as audio. Audio remains the full experience because we don't do artist intros for the YouTube. Basically, YouTube is the raw, unedited, apart from the section we just chopped out for the advert break. That wasn't really an advert break, although I'm sure I'll think of something I can put in there to make people giggle. You know what? I might get Norin to record something.
You should get Norin to record something for in there. Like, I would say an apology. I think you should get Norin to get down on his hands and knees and beg for forgiveness. I don't know what for, but that would be fun. That would be entertaining. I would laugh during that time.
Well, that's absolutely fine. So this is your new Instagram. Now I want to. So this is what I was talking about when I talked about Spider-Verse. I'm going to talk about those con pictures with The Walking Dead in a minute. So you have started posting. The Spidey was day 1, yeah, day 1 of 122. Yes. I think you built it.
Day 1 of 122.
And I noticed that by the time you got to, I think, day 3, you said it might not last that long because I'll probably start bunching them up. I was like, brilliant. Now, this one, go back one. All
right.
Now, this one, that's MJ. Yep.
That's MJ. Yep.
I love the way you've done the light on the coat.
Though. Oh, thank you.
I just love that. And it's one of those things that's so simple, but I just see it and I'm like, because I'm not an artist, I'm like, how do you do that? Because it's, how do you know where to put those kind of, obviously, because it's I'm guessing it's a reflective or possibly not even a reflective. In my head, I look at that as possibly a leather or vinyl coat.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, was that kind of leather or vinyl on this. So
reasons. Did I just do that? Anyway, but that's why I look at it. I love it. But go to the Spider Ham. Let's see some Spider Ham.
Spider Ham.
So that one's good, but it's the next one. I love that one. That's today's, yeah?
Yes.
Spider Hammer. Love it.
I am honestly, again, another one that I was kind of surprised wasn't rejected, because oftentimes if you put red splatter, it gets considered as blood. So they often reject that. But this guy, he made it through.
That's a well-used mallet. Look at the top of that.
Yes. Very well-used mallet.
He's hit things on that before.
He has.
I never realised this. And can I just say these like things here, the promoted on comics community things,
Hmm.
those bots that do that, I can't stand.
Oh, I love them. They're my
Oh,
favorite thing.
I can't. I can't. I always reply with something really. You've replied to that. Please do.
Oh,
Um,
I troll the troll. I
no,
think
I
it's fun.
no, I don't. I literally type that bugger off and then I block them. But what I forget, especially on the Instagram one, is that other people who haven't blocked can see the message and my reply, which, which is like, okay. So I'll probably look really, really miserable. I love it. So you're only four in there now. Obviously, I've just seen on the commercial break
Uh-huh. Week.
the I know what's coming. So get the follow button clicked there, people, because that is going to be worth hanging in for the ride. I love it. I know what's
Yeah.
coming as well. I know what's coming. What's going to be
Yeah.
tomorrow? Because people will have seen it
To,
by now, so you can say,
so I'm trying to decide if it's either going to be, I've got 3 Spider-Hams in here again, because the initial art direction was 19 approved characters from the movie is
okay,
what we could. So there's a lot of duplicates in the early
okay,
stuff. I
so you
think I've
could go
got
ham.
what?
You're going to go ham.
I'm going to go ham. More than likely, because I'm trying to stay organized. You saw the files that I've got of
Mm,
stuff.
mm.
And if I start jumping around, I'm going to forget what I've put up.
Yeah, yeah,
And I
yeah,
don't necessarily want to go back through on like day
yeah.
110 and just make sure what I haven't put up yet.
Well, you've got to be
So,
organized. I mean, you just mentioned like 400 cards, and that's just for stuff coming up.
yeah,
So, I mean, I imagine you're organized enough because you are, you because you're teaching. It is
right.
art related, so you are an art professional.
Yes.
Yeah. So I imagine you know the importance of keeping high quality copies of all your work, you know,
Yes.
scanned in
Yep.
for portfolio purposes and also for.
Except my Marvel Endgame, but that was a mistake on my part, but we won't talk about that anymore.
Yeah, we won't go there. Uh, can I be really cheeky
Yes,
and pimp another artist while we're talking?
by all means.
George Vega. Have you met George Vega?
I've not met him personally, but I've
He's
talked.
lovely. He's
Is he?
lovely. I've embraced the
Fantastic.
man. He gives good hug. He's probably the only sketch card artist I've met that works on Marvel so
Let's
far.
see.
But he has. Oh, and everyone can see you're
I
whoever
know.
that guy with the beard
I'm
was.
aware.
George
We're gonna
Vega.
pimp him. We're gonna
So
pimp him
George
real quick.
Vega, we're going to pimp George Vega. Now the reason I wanted to cut in and do it here. Oh, he's got Ming Chen, Ming Chen from Comic Book Man and Tell Him Steve Davis down there. He's got a Kickstarter because he's been working in sketch cards for like
Mm-hmm.
over 10 years. So he's bringing out, and he's done a lot. I mean, thousands. So he's got a book, Sketch Cards Collected Volume One,
Nice.
where he's bringing together like high quality scans of all his cards from all the different sets he's worked on. Alien. I mean, when we had him on the show, he's done loads of Marvel stuff, but he's done Aliens,
Mm-hmm.
he's done like Wild West sets, he's done nature sets, I think he's done space-based sets, where you're drawing the Enterprise around a planet for the 60th time that day, that kind of stuff. And I think he's got a few weeks to go on it. So by the time this drops, it should still be live. Yeah, 24 days to go. So this closes on the 30th of November. So I'm going to pop a link to that in the tasting notes as well, because George is a ledge. So I want a physical copy of that book, which I think is the $35 mark. So $35, that's pretty decent for a book, and I know it's going to be decent quality. But he's got other stuff. He's got Early Bird Special, which has inked headshots. He's got book and print copies. I think he's got some where he does APs. If you scroll down a bit more, there we go.
There we are.
Got an AP one, which I think is from an official set, and then he's got PSC copies as
Yep.
well. So there's something for every
PSCs.
budget. Yeah,
PSCs are all
but
gone.
PSCs are all gone.
All
And
gone.
in fact, by the time you look at this, the artist proof copy is going to be gone as well. So he's
Potential.
doing
And there's
he's
only
doing all right on it. He's doing all right on it, and it's a week for
yeah.
Kickstarters because there you go, George. That's what we get. Um, we love you, George. Um, it's a week for Kickstarters because Joe Gisco, who we had on last week, his Kickstarter, well, not his Kickstarter, FPG Publishing, who are doing
Sure.
the book on Masterpieces 92.
Mhm.
That went live, and I think again that's till the end of November. But there were it's bonkers amount of money, $2,500. And I know I'm not saying
Yeah.
it's not worth it, but um, uh,
I
thank you,
totally
thank you for driving on
you know,
this.
I'm gonna keep plugging. And so
No, please
one of the
do.
things that I absolutely love about teaching and being part of this profession and getting the next round of artists up is
Mm,
being able to get them where they want to go and promote them to where they need to be.
yeah,
That excites me greatly. I
yeah.
love seeing people get where they need to go. So, I
Yeah.
mean, I'm all about this. Let's get this promoted. I broke down about 4 days ago and backed this to the um, bronze Spider-Man level.
Oh, wow. Because
I
it's
had,
a
I had
beautiful, beautiful book. I mean, I can't wait to see it. I mean, Joe told us about it. It was 2 months ago now that Joe recorded that, so some of this detail wasn't there. But I mean, I'm running on fumes at the moment in terms of hobby spend, so I'm just going to be going for the $59 regular one.
yeah.
Um, but
Well,
the $59 regular one just looks incredible. I mean, look at it,
mhm, mhm,
beautiful. But when you
yeah.
scroll down there, you've got the 200 and how much is it? 250, 295. You've got a
Mhm.
slipcase edition. I believe that's signed as well.
Yes,
Um,
slipcase signed and the bronze
it's a
card.
bronze trading card, solid
Yeah.
bronze 3D trading card of that Spider-Man.
Mhm.
And then the one that everyone went doolally over, and these went within 24 hours, is 2.5 grand.
Yeah.
You get the original recreation that people would have heard Joe talking about, where he's recreated just on a white background at the same size scale. The pieces from Masterpieces 92, and it's the last time I believe he's ever going to recreate those because he had started doing them as recreations for private commissions. Um, but I think he said that with these, he will no longer do recreations of those pieces,
Yeah.
which is fair
Yeah.
enough because if you own one, how how many copies of it do you want out there done by the same artist? I guess so.
Yeah. I'll tell you, I'm I stayed out of Spider-Man metal. I did not jump into the Spider-Man metal game as much as I wanted to because some of those sketches by Dre
mm,
are ridiculously beautiful and amazing,
yeah,
and the
yeah,
stuff that he did
yeah.
for that set are gorgeous, and a lot of great sketches on that set and a lot of great art on that set. But I was like, no, I'm staying out. So I was able to slip in here onto this one.
Oh, that's nice. Well done,
So,
sir.
and it's nice too with all the sketch cards that I'm doing. Upper Deck is essentially paying me to buy more Upper Deck stuff.
Okay, fair enough. Now that's interesting. You talk about this. So you are a collector as well.
I am, and I'm not a huge collector. Like I don't get in on every set. I'm an original art collector.
Okay.
So I jumped back in with Marvel 80th because I had some sketches in there, and I just wanted to see what the EPAC platform looked like and felt like.
Mm, mm, mm.
So I jumped back in with 80th, and I've got the rainbow, low and high. I've got all of the. I kind of have a mini master in there. I'm not sure what chases I'm missing, but I've got a lot of the 80th. I jumped in on Marvel Avengers Endgame because I was mad that my cards got rejected. Um,
Fair enough.
so I jumped into that to see what sketches weren't rejected. Um, and I've got everything but the one shots and the shadow boxes from that set.
Nice.
Um, no multiple, so I don't like have the gold, the silver, and the regular spectrum of the um, alternates.
Yes.
Oh, and I don't have the exquisites from that set either, but I do have a Chadwick Boseman
I love the exquisite.
exquisite diamond, the single
Hmm.
diamond,
Yeah,
and
stop
I've got.
sharing your screen for a minute.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Let's show because I've got some of the oh, good grief, this box. So this is the box people would have heard me talking about that I'm currently keeping my black diamond and my
Got it.
PSAs in. It was a wine box from a
Mm,
high-end supermarket called Waitrose, and it is a perfect size given that you can't get the BCW card bins and things like that over here.
aha.
You open it up, it's a perfect size.
Ooh, look at that.
Put good stuff in. So
Yeah.
in here, I tell you what, it weighs a ton with all these cards in there as well. I believe there, where are they? Apologies for this, listeners and viewers, but I will find what I'm looking for. As Bono used to say, I still haven't found what I'm looking for. Where are they? Where are they? Who knows? You know, would that I be more organized? Here we go. These are the ones that I've got from Endgame, and they're beautiful. These are the achievement ones, the black exquisites,
Yep. Oh, those are
which
gorgeous. Yeah.
which inside the sleeves really don't. They're actually a little bit tough to see unless you've got them in the flesh, but they're just gorgeous.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got those black exquisites as well.
Mm.
Those were those achieved
They were
the
relatively straightforward to get, actually. You've got
yes.
the Thanos one,
Yep.
which is there. So, and
I
then,
wanted one of the Thanos sketches or the signatures so badly,
oh,
but I
the
saw
Josh Brolin ones.
yeah, I saw what it took to get that and I went, I'm not spending that much money. So no thank you.
I mean, they are
But yeah, so I've got those. And then the one big hit I got from that set was the Chris Evans Legends Never Die casual outfit
Oh,
signature.
nice. Nice.
Yeah. So I've got that one, and it's got a soft corner, which is unfortunate. So, but I've got that one, and I've got the Chadwick Boseman exquisite.
I'm gonna keep that handy.
Yes, it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Put it there.
Um, but yeah, I've got those two as the big hits from that set for me.
Nice.
But then the other sets that I've been collecting are again all the original art sets. So the Masterpieces 2018, I've got 1 through 81, and a couple of the Rainbow Achievements from that one.
Yeah.
And I got those from Keith Boyle.
Oh, Keith
Is a good friend. He is the owner of my local comic shop when I lived in Thornton in Colorado and Denver.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, yeah.
Got to know him through that. And then, when Marvel Masterpieces 16 came out, I realized the obsession that he has. So he was, I traded him something. I don't remember what I traded him, but he essentially gifted me all of his extra 2018 Marvel Masterpieces. So
Nice.
I got a whole set of 1 through 81, and then a couple of his rainbow foils. And then 2020, I just wanted all of the art. So I have a full set of purples plus the holofoils plus the battle spectra.
Nice.
And I think I have one plate from that.
Oh, okay.
And then I was lucky enough to pull one of the I have the prelims for that set as well. But I was lucky enough to pull one of the prelim redemptions from that set.
Nice.
So I have a prelim Hela card
Hella.
from that set. And it's great. Again, as a teaching tool, it's a great teaching tool. This is what artists go through. Here's their thumbnail. Here's their prelim. Here's their value study. Here's their comps. And then here's what the final looks like.
Yeah.
Could not afford the original Gila painting to show my students, but that's okay. So I've got that. And then from Black Diamond, I wanted one of the Infinity Stone cards. That's all I wanted was one of the Infinity Stones because I used to work at a jewelry store. So I wanted to see what the diamonds looked like. They're, synthetic and colorful. But I got that, but I bought 2 boxes, and out of those 2 boxes, I pulled 2 Infinity Stones.
What, the 6 diamonds?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's so I got Pepper Potts and I got a Wanda.
Okay. Yeah, good.
I traded the Wanda for a set of the Ultron printing plates. So then I went and grabbed an Ultron rainbow. So I have every Ultron from Black Diamond except the black.
Yes.
And the 101 guy that has the black was not very nice on EPAC when I was trying to get it from him just so I could have the full rainbow. But he started like, well, you're getting the printing plates from this guy, and I've been trying to convince him to get those for me because they're going to keep going up and the wand is going to go down when blah, blah. I was like, I don't care. Whatever, you keep it. But again, that's another great teaching tool for my students where I can say, this is the card and this is how color printing works. Yeah. And when you're prepping your art and you're getting ready to get these things set and ready for print, this is what you have to think about. And this is what it's going to look like. And this is, so most of those things for me are simply teaching tools that I'm utilizing for, to show the students. But I grabbed the original art sets because Palumbo is brilliant and Bianchi is amazing. and I wish I could get the 2016 set from Jusco because just masterful, but I can't
Yeah,
because
I know.
cost.
It's just crazy. I mean, I'm still chipping away at 2020. I think I've got about 4 cards left for the 1 to 81, but I'm missing a chunk of Battle Spectre and Holofoil. But I
Gotcha.
managed to get the purple tier 4, got them locked down.
Nice.
Although some of them are still on my APAC waiting to be shipped, along with
Yeah.
hundreds of other cards. Um, and of course, I have the prelim, the Black Cat prelim, which I was lucky
Nice.
enough to get. It popped up on eBay, and just someone spotted it and straight away grabbed it for me.
Nice.
But so which was good. And
Yep.
then Dave, very very kindly, Dave Palumbo, thank you, mailed me his rough that he did on
Glorious.
kind of transparent that he used to actually draw the line work onto the masonite before he did the
Very
prelim.
cool.
He sent
Very,
that to
very
me as
cool.
a gift, so I've got that as well, along with a a regular plate and a what if plate. So I've got a pretty decent rainbow there. The red
Nice.
spec and the original, just like you. It's at my my price range, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
But I think that's fascinating, especially with Bianchi's work. The the room there for using that as a teaching tool, because I think it's more so no diss on Dave, but I think it's much it's very interesting with Bianchi stuff that you can see the change in direction he'd done on some of the prelims.
Hmm.
You can see where a card has started off as one thing, and then it's the process has changed, or he's changed the layout or the execution of the card, and it's become something else. I find that absolutely fascinating.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really cool. And I think showing students the two different ways the artists work is great because, Palumbo is very much thumbnail, 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 land on the composition, value study the composition. So it is
Mm,
set and ready and done. So he's just at that point going through the process of polishing essentially.
yeah.
So it's nice that you've got the plan, you've got it set, you're ready, and then you just polish as you go.
Mm,
And then you've got Bianchi who has these gorgeous prelims and these gorgeous sketches, and you see as he's going, he's making multiple decisions at the same time, and it works out. So
yeah.
I'm very much in the Dave Palumbo camp where I have to have everything laid out, done, finished, tight, and clean before I move on. Because if I don't, I'm going to screw something up
Yeah.
beyond,
Yeah.
past that. So
I,
I
I tell you
really
what,
like having those things nice and tight.
I find interesting. Tight, gotta be tight.
Got to be tight.
Um, uh, um, where someone's going to screenshot that and use it. Um, that's the dangers of putting ourselves on video now.
Yep.
Which I find it interesting actually. We never intended to do that with every episode because it was always the idea was that it would always be an audio podcast, and I
Mm-hmm.
think it's quite feels quite soft underbelly exposed, if that makes sense. Starting to put these on YouTube. But
It
I
is.
digress.
I wouldn't say it's nerve wracking, but no, it's not nerve wracking. It's fine. It's fun. You know.
It's um it's different. It's different because it is a different crowd, and people consume content like there's no tomorrow, but people consume it differently depending on what type of format it is. I find the
Yeah.
responses that you get are different. Um, no, I was going to go on to say with Dave Palumbo, that one of the beautiful things that he shared was his process even before he got to the kind of getting it the execution and the finish done before he then move on and create the final piece was the
Mm-hmm.
process he went through of what the character was going to be. So that music, he had a song. I don't know if you saw this. He had a song for each character,
Interesting.
and I can't remember if it was him or if it was Donny Courtrider who did some blog pieces about it. I think it was Donny actually did it, where the song that Dave had chosen for each character. Because you can actually see it on some of the imagery that's come out. Dave started off with like index cards for each character
Hmm.
and jotted down like words to kind of illustrate what the character's personality was going to be and what they were about and what their song was. And with Black Cat, the song was "All Mine" by Portishead.
Ah, makes sense.
And when you think about it, so that not that I'm trying to tell you how to do your job, but that's an interesting one
Sure.
for you to go and look at if you want to pull
Yeah,
that
yeah,
into the stream, because I think that's fascinating when you think about that artist's creative process that he's chosen to use music to,
yeah. Well,
before he's even really put pencil to paper.
and I think that's brilliant. One of the things that I keep telling my students is the more you know, the better you'll be.
Mm,
So in one of my classes, we have a day of physics, we have a day of history, we have a day of this is how we see, and this is how eyesight works, and this is how television works, and this is how
mm,
different screens work. So we try to get, I try to give them that nice breadth of knowledge, because oftentimes you look at a piece of art and you're like, well, that looks different than it did on this screen or this on that screen or whatever. So we try to get into some of that so students
yeah,
understand that when they're looking at it on their iPad or their computer screen or the Cintiq screen or the big monitors that we're looking at it on, it's all going to look different. So how do
yeah,
we make sure that what we are putting down digitally is going to translate properly physically, or vice versa?
yeah.
So yeah, that's a big piece of what we do in the classroom. So pulling from other sources and other places is just going to inform your work and make it
Mm,
that much better. So
yeah. And a case in point with that is the Masterpieces 2018, and
mhm.
how the cards just lost some of the, well, they were darker than the original art, certainly,
Yeah,
in terms of the way that they were either scanned or printed or whatever.
yeah,
I don't know enough about the differences, but whatever it was, there was an essence that was maybe lost a little bit. I mean,
yeah,
don't get me wrong, the cards are absolutely beautiful, and where it works, boy, does it work.
yeah,
But there's definitely examples in that set where it's just not as um, alive is the word I'm
yeah,
going to use, but want a better word than the original painting, because you could see the original paintings, fortunately, at the two exhibitions that Simone did, one in New York and one in Italy, with all
yeah,
the original works. I think that's why people have found so much enjoyment of the prelims on that set, especially. Um,
yeah. Well, going along with that, the Silver Surfer that I have up, the Silver Surfer painting that I have up on my Instagram page,
mm,
uh, the scan, I had to do some adjustments on the scan to get it to look like the original, but I did a print of that for the Chattanooga Comic Con I went to. And if you look at the two, I did some color correction on some pieces of the print. So the kind of Kirby crackle and the cosmic cloud around the Watcher is a little more orange than it is on the original, but
gotcha.
everything else is almost kind of dead on. So my print and my original look really close to the same, because that's an important aspect of us, especially doing any sort of prints off traditional work, but even
Yeah.
printing from digital work, it's got to be on. You have to be clean.
Yeah.
So going the other direction on that, the Red Skull that I have up there, the colored version of the Red Skull, again, what you see on screen and what
Feel
you get
free
in
to
print.
share screen, by the way, to show these
For sure,
as you're
for
talking,
sure.
because that might
Yeah,
be good for the
yeah.
people
And
watching at
then
home.
just a side note for those of us actually in the podcast, I've got about 10 minutes before I need to run.
No, that's good. That's good. We can wrap.
Yep. Okay. So, for example, this Red Skull here, um, what you see here on screen and what you get in print is almost identical. So the goal here is to make sure that what you see is what you get, of course. So when I'm working these and coloring these digitally, um, there's a couple things to look out for. And here's your art lesson for the day. Ian, are you ready?
I'm ready, braced.
Cool. So when we're working in CMYK, that's 4 channels of ink. So those 4 channels of ink have a possibility of 100% total ink density, right? You can put 100% black, 100% cyan, magenta, and yellow. If you do that, your colors bleed and run because most paper can't handle that. So your goal is to be at 240% total ink density. So my blacks in here are 100% black, but then underneath them, they've got a purple tone at 140%. So
Wow.
that gives me 100% black, 140% color, which gives me a 240. Nothing on here is below or is above that 240% ink density. So what I'm seeing on here is what I'm getting in print.
I'm with you.
So even though these, are these really deep, deep, dark blacks, they are not going to be oversaturated and they're not going to bleed out.
Yeah.
And then vice versa, when I'm looking at this, the scan that I got off of this and the prints that I got off of this, I did the same thing. So I'm going through with an eyedropper in Photoshop and checking some of those colors and some of those ink densities. And if I'm seeing something that gets above that 240, I'm doing some, color corrections and adjustment layer corrections so that it doesn't get above that. So there's a couple layers of contrast and value adjustments and saturation adjustments on here so that when it prints, it looks like it's supposed to. So it doesn't get too dark. It doesn't get too nasty.
Right. So very quickly then, I want to ask about you meeting Ross Marquand and giving him a copy of that Red Skull. Is that on here actually? Yes, it is. Right. So let's go back. Go back. So that's, if I'm correct, that's Kari Payton who plays Ezekiel.
That's Kari Payton who plays Ezekiel, and he's also Cyborg.
That's it, Teen Titans. There we go. My kid loves that show.
So we did a panel that was how to draw Cyborg. So I taught all of these people how to draw Cyborg, and Kari popped in about 10 minutes left and saw the work and signed some stuff. So I gave away
that's cool.
The Cyborg to a lucky hat-drawn numbered winner. This is Jay Lee.
Right.
From Inhumans fame.
Yeah.
I got to share a stage with Jay Lee.
Nice.
Work. I was considered a pro next to Jay Lee. So that was cool.
Take that.
And then there's Ross Marquand.
That's a beard.
Oh, it is a beard. So Ross and I are the same age. You can totally tell, right? We're the exact same age. He grew up on the other side of Denver from me. So we're both Colorado, both Denverites.
Gotcha.
So we had a nice little conversation about that. I don't know if you can, you can't really see it, but my hat is from the Rocky Mountain Vibes, which is a baseball team in the Denver area. Okay. So we got to talk a little bit about that. You see the Avengers Infinity War Red Skull piece that he's holding?
Yeah.
The only one I got rid of that entire weekend is that one.
Come on, people. So if people if people wanted to buy, so I'm very aware, I want you to get some plugs in here. So
sure,
can people buy this stuff from you online, or do they have to do it at a con?
The best way to do that is to contact me via Instagram or Facebook Messenger.
Great.
PayPal, and I will ship stuff to you. Not a problem. That is easily done. I don't have an online store set up just because most of my stuff is quote unquote fan art. So I don't want to get into too much trouble from the big guys.
I'm with you.
But yeah.
Right. So I reckon by my clock, then you have maybe 4 minutes.
That's right.
Before we actually have to bug out. Stop staring your screen. Would you like, Jay, to put Thanos together with me?
Absolutely. Let's put Thanos
together. Should we do it? Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Right. Now, they've changed the packs. They were terrible, undolphin-friendly packs, but this I'm going to have to get scissors out here. Now, these come with a Lego Avengers magazine that comes out in the UK. You get one a month.
Cool.
And they always have a different figure on. And then this one, I thought, you know what? Let's do it. Let's buy it, and I'll open it up. And this is going to be fascinating for you to watch because it's all going to be on the table out of sight. So you just have to trust me. There we go. The bag is empty. It's not like doing a box break. I don't have to show every single card. I've got no idea how you put this together.
Well, while you're building this, Ian, while you're doing that, I'm gonna just get a couple more plugs in while we get our thing.
You do that. Yep.
So, plug number one. I do have Marvel Annual 22 APs, Marvel Masterpiece 2022 APs, Marvel Premiere APs, Fleer Ultra APs, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse APs, all available. Please buy them from me. If you remember at the beginning of this podcast, I said I have 6 kids. Please buy them from me.
This man is a teacher. He's not a rich man.
Right. I also have these 2 Marvel Allure APs finished and available. Magneto and an Archangel.
That's choice.
Okay. So if anybody needs those, they're available. Again, I've got the She-Hulk available. So,
Nice.
I want to do work for you guys, and just so you guys can kind of see some of the options. Oh, there's
So
the
there's his weapon.
glorious.
Pardon me. I'm not sure what that weapon's actually called, but let's get that there. Okay, so I just want to get this. I just want to get this to a certain point. So Lego figures, they often have like a face where it's got
Oh
a
yes.
face on one side, and then on the other side you can turn it around. It'll be a happy face. They haven't got that with Thanos. He's
No,
just
no
got the
happy.
angry face. So let's put his helmet on.
Thanos shouldn't have a happy face.
So
All right,
there he
and
is.
then one. Nice. Okay. Wow,
So there he
that's
is.
really cool.
Hang on. What I wanted to do is have I caught that likeness? We have.
I think so. I think you've got it.
Yeah, I've got a rubbish camera and it's reflecting badly, but people get the
That's all right.
idea. Anyway,
Yep.
there we go.
Okay.
He's inevitable.
Last thing, for those of you who like APs, this is some of the work I'm doing on APs right now. Okay. So these are full gouache paintings. I cannot show the set yet, unfortunately, but I am doing those. If you are interested, those are for somebody else at the moment, but you can have the same for you.
This is amazing. Look, he's even got two Infinity Gauntlet gloves because there's only room because his hands are so small. So if I wanted to, I could put one on the other hand because it's only got room for 3 stones on each one because it's a Lego figure. It's kind of like, surely they'd have figured that out. Anyway, there he is. He won't stand up because his sword's too heavy, which sounds rude. On that note, Jay, thank you for coming on. I'm sorry we took so long to get this off the ground. I know we've been talking, myself knowing you, since like May. Was it May?
I think so.
I think it was May, something like that. And then, of course, you got hacked on the internet, and then we had a massive hiatus. So,
yep.
Thanks for popping on. We'll put all the tasting notes on the Facebook post that goes with this on the podcast page. So we'll put all the links there, and we'll tag you on Instagram. Have you got a Twitter?
No, I avoid that like the plague.
I've got to be honest with you. I might drop our Twitter because it's simply like more work than and we don't really get much engagement from it. The only reason I keep it up is because there's a lot of artists who are on there who are not on other places.
Yeah,
so it's kind of like
anyway. Which is unfortunate. I've got a couple of friends on there. Anyway,
thank you, sir.
Absolutely,
it's been gorgeous. Come back on.
Yep, absolutely.
And have a wonderful Sunday. Thank
Norrin,
you, everybody at home.
Norrin, your Silver Surfers. Norrin, your Silver Surfers are here.
Norrin.
They're waiting. Norrin, they're waiting. Norrin, they're waiting. So come back to us. Come back to the beauty that is this podcast. We love you and we miss you.
Come back to us. Jay, you know how we sign off the episode, don't you? You can't remember. You can't remember. What do people do with collecting? What do they do? Do they
collect well?
Do they enjoy collecting?
Do you enjoy collecting? Enjoy your collecting and be amazing at collect. I don't remember. It's
enjoy your collecting and be amazing at collecting. We'll go with
it's that. Bad, Ian. Yes, enjoy your collecting, be amazing at your collecting. Don't spend all your money on collecting unless you want to.
Yeah,
then
too late. Too late, I'm afraid. All right.
Thanks, Ian.
Thank you.